People say revenge is a dish best served cold. They are wrong. Revenge is not a dish. It is a surgery. You cannot let emotion interfere. You cannot let your hand shake. You must find the rotting flesh. Take the scalpel and cut it out. Decisively. While everyone watches at 25 years old, while my friends were busy with weekend dates or checking into vacation resorts, I was here, standing in the lavish restroom of the Royal Fairmont Hotel, staring at my reflection in a gold-rimmed mirror. I wore a plain black dress, bought on sale 3 years ago. Hair pulled back, no heavy makeup. I looked exactly like a catering server, a shadow. Nobody would notice. That was exactly what Eleanor wanted. She wanted me. Invisible. She wanted me to be a pathetic background noise in the blinding symphony of her life. I took a deep breath. The restroom air smelled of expensive perfume, the smell of fake luxury, the smell of blood money she had drained from my father. I checked the flash drive in my coat pocket. It was freezing cold. Inside that tiny piece of metal was $1,900,000 worth of truth. 15 years of biting my tongue, 2.5 months of relentless investigation. Everything rested at my fingertips. I did not feel nervous. I did not feel angry. I felt a perfect emptiness, the silence of an executioner about to pull the trigger. I pushed the door and walked out. The grand ballroom of the Fairmont tonight was a flawless portrait of high society. Over 220 of the most powerful people in the province gathered here, politicians, judges, and chief executive officers wearing custom-tailored suits and $1,000 silk gowns. Crystal glasses clinked. Elegant whispers filled the room. And at the absolute center of that portrait, glowing and arrogant, was Eleanor. She wore a sparkling champagne evening gown. Every step she took demanded attention. She leaned in, smiling, lightly touching the arm of the Chief Justice of the city. A flawless performance by the incoming Philanthropist of the Year. My father sat at table 1, right next to the stage. He looked 10 years older. His shoulders sagged, his eyes staring blankly at the water glass. He still knew nothing. He thought his life was just a series of random misfortunes. He did not know the radiant woman laughing over there. The woman who shared his bed was the parasite, sucking his final drops of blood. I walked toward table 18, the darkest corner, right next to the server entrance, the exact seat Eleanor had personally assigned me. "So you do not ruin the photos," she had told me. "Tori!" A disgustingly sweet voice rang out. I stopped. Eleanor stood blocking my path. The champagne in her glass swirled. The crystal chandelier light hit the diamond necklace around her throat. A necklace I knew for a fact was bought with my father's retirement fund. "You are late," Eleanor said. Her smile remained, but her eyes were razor sharp. "I told you to wear something decent. You look like you are going to a funeral." I looked straight into her eyes, for the first time in 15 years. I did not look down. I did not look away. "I wore what suits tonight's occasion, Eleanor," I replied. My voice was completely flat. She frowned. For a fraction of a second, confusion flashed across her heavily make-up eyes. She was not used to me looking back. She was used to a coward, a weak stepdaughter who only knew how to endure. "You are acting very strange, Tori," she hissed through her teeth, keeping her smile for the audience. "Do not pull any stunts tonight. This is my night. After tonight, I'm officially transferring the title of your lake house, and you will move down to the basement. Remember your place." I gave a slight smirk. Just barely. "You are right. This is your night. Enjoy every single second of it." I walked past her to my table. The warning bell rang. The ceremony was starting. The grand ballroom fell silent. The center lights dimmed. The Chief Justice stepped up to the podium. "Ladies and gentlemen," his deep voice echoed, "tonight, we gather to honor the highest values of compassion. We are here to award the Philanthropist of the Year." Eleanor sat up straight. She smoothed her gown. She was ready to stand. But the Chief Justice did not call her name. He stopped. A 2-second pause. 3 seconds. The air in the room shifted. He took off his glasses and looked directly at table 18, my table. However, he continued, his tone turning hard, according to our bylaws, any honorary award is immediately suspended if the board receives verified evidence of severe financial fraud. Whispers erupted from table 3, then table 4. Eleanor opened her mouth. Her hand gripped the edge of the table. Tonight, the Chief Justice said slowly, we received a certified legal file, irrefutable proof of massive fraud, and the accuser is a member of the nominee's own family. 220 people stopped breathing. Every eye slowly turned to table 1. To Eleanor. She jumped to her feet. The elegant mask finally shattered. What is this nonsense? She shrieked. Who is spreading this garbage? Chief Justice, stop this sick joke immediately. She looked at my father. Arthur, do something! Tell them this is a misunderstanding! My father did not move. That was when I pushed my chair back and stood up. The legs of the chair screeched against the hardwood floor. I held the flash drive, stepping out of the shadows. There is no misunderstanding here, Eleanor, I said. My voice sliced through the silent room like a surgical blade. I walked past table 1. I did not look at my father. I walked straight up the stage stairs. The Chief Justice stepped back. I plugged the drive into the podium laptop. I looked down at Eleanor. Good evening, everyone, I spoke into the microphone. My name is Tori, and tonight, I will show you the true face of the monster you were about to crown. I pressed enter. The massive projector screen behind me lit up. Eleanor's nightmare officially began. On April 12th, 2024, I began, my voice echoing off the high ceilings. A transfer deed was filed to move ownership of the family home in Toronto. Appraised value, $1,200,000. The receiving party was a shell company named Hale Premier Properties. The screen behind me flashed, a high-resolution scan of the property deed. This signature at the bottom belongs to Arthur, I pointed. Except, it does not. The screen now shows the forensic analysis conducted by a board-certified document examiner. 2 signatures appeared side by side. Red circles highlighted the jagged lines, the wrong pen pressure, the missing loops. The conclusion is absolute, I stated. This is a simulated forgery, a felony. The ballroom remained dead silent. You could hear a pin drop. Arthur, tell them you signed it! Eleanor screamed, her voice breaking into a hysterical pitch. Tell them! My father slowly stood up. He looked at the giant screen, then looked at the woman he had been married to for 15 years. I did not sign that document, my father said. His voice was raspy, but completely steady. I have never heard of that company. I pressed the spacebar. The next slide appeared. Bank statements. Between January and October, $380,000 were drained from my father's retirement account, I continued, not giving her a single second to breathe. Transferred directly to a private account under Eleanor's maiden name. Next slide. A secret credit card opened using his social security number. Current balance, $47,000. Charges include luxury spa retreats and first-class flights to Paris. Murmurs turned into loud gasps. 2 lawyers at table 3 leaned away from Eleanor as if she were radioactive. Total amount stolen. I looked directly into Eleanor's terrified eyes. $1,900,000. Stealing from an elderly man recovering from a heart attack is not a family dispute. Under the criminal code, it is the exploitation of a vulnerable adult. Eleanor was crying now. Fake, glistening tears. She is lying. She is a jealous, crazy stepdaughter. I took care of him. I leaned closer to the microphone. You thought you controlled the guest list tonight, Eleanor, but you did not know I spent 3 weeks tracking down your past. I personally mailed an all-access VIP pass to a very special guest, sitting at table 12. Then, A woman stood up from table 12. "My name is Helen Briggs," the woman said loudly. "Eleanor was married to my brother 15 years ago. Their marriage ended when he discovered she transferred $190,000 of his money into a secret account." Helen held up a thick legal document. "This is a certified copy of the divorce decree, dissipation of marital assets. She has done this before. 2 husbands, 2 stolen fortunes, the exact same playbook." The room exploded. 220 people talking at once. Disgust, shock, betrayal. Eleanor looked around. She looked at the politicians she had bought dinners for. She looked at the judges she had flattered. Not a single person met her gaze. They looked at her with pure, unfiltered contempt. She grabbed her designer purse. She turned and practically ran toward the exit. The sound of her expensive heels striking the marble floor echoed through the ballroom, long after the heavy oak doors slammed shut behind her. Nobody followed her. The drive back to the lake house took 2 hours. My father sat in the passenger seat and did not speak for the first 90 minutes. Then, staring out into the dark highway, he finally spoke. "I will file for divorce on Monday," he said. I did not comfort him. I just nodded. Eleanor's punishment came faster than she could ever anticipate. The morning after the gala, my attorney filed a formal criminal complaint: forgery in the first degree, identity fraud, exploitation of a vulnerable adult. 4. Separate felony counts. By Wednesday, the bank froze every single hidden account she possessed. $595,000. Locked. Instantly. The Charity Foundation initiated an emergency audit. They found she had been using charity funds to pay for her private dinner parties. They dropped her completely. The following week, Eleanor surrendered to the provincial courthouse. She posted bail, but the judge deemed her a flight risk. They strapped a heavy black GPS monitor to her ankle, a permanent, humiliating accessory to go with her designer dresses. If convicted, she faces up to 15 years in federal prison. It is December now, 6 months later. I am sitting on the porch of my Muskoka lake house, the same porch where she left me that voicemail telling me to sleep in the basement. The lake is frozen over. The air is violently cold, but I have never felt warmer. My father lives in a small apartment in the city now. He's going to therapy. He's learning how he let a monster blind him for over a decade. He is learning how to be a father again. We are taking it slow. People ask me if I regret doing it so publicly. If I should have handled it quietly, behind closed doors, to save the family face. Absolutely not. Silence is not loyalty. Silence is surrender. When you let someone step on your neck for 15 years, they do not thank you. They just press harder. I did not just take back my house, I took back my name. Justice does not scream, it waits, it calculates. And when the time is right, it strikes with absolute precision. I take a sip of my coffee. The lake is silent. The storm is over. And for the first time in my life, I am exactly where I belong.